Shalom, all praises and glory go to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Huar Kakudash, Brakatah, Brakatham. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Kabar, Apostle Rakal, Apostle Ramab, and the Shalom to all the sincere Achim that are pushing this word, this sincerity, and in truth. Before I continue, I want to say that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel that the Bible speaks about, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. The people that live in the land of Israel today, they go back to the Khazarians, which go back to the Amalekites, which is the chief head tribe of the nation of Esau Edom. So the Amalekites, that's the biblical name of them, And the people that call themselves white, European, Caucasian, Australian, American, on their father's side, they all go back to the nation of Esau Edom. And Esau Edom is the only nation upon the planet Earth that will not receive mercy from the Heavenly Father. With that being said, these videos are made to wake up our people, to lead them back to the Heavenly Father, because heavy judgment is being passed, slowly but surely. Okay. Now, this is very interesting development. There has been a lot of turmoil in Bolivia because they had a Native American president. He got toppled by foreign. How do you say that? By foreign meddling of America, and then they placed some other president that was backed by them, and now all of a sudden I see this, which is not at all a move that you would expect from a country that's backed by America, or unless maybe I had a wrong impression, but at least they were the interim president actually was backed by America. I didn't really follow the story too well, so all of a sudden I see this and I see like this is not in America's best interest, So over here it says Bolivia replaces U.S. dollar with Chinese yuan in foreign trade. So it says a money exchange shop worker counts Chinese yuan banknotes in La Paz, Bolivia, Wednesday. Bolivia's state-run bank, Banco Union, has started to carry out transactions using China's currency, the yuan. Okay, interesting. So it says Bolivia has started using the yuan. And this looks like Mao Zedong, man, but I might be wrong. On the banknote, there's a known communist that was backed by Amalek, So over here it says Bolivia has started using the yuan, the currency of China, for its international payments for the import and export of goods, joining Brazil and Argentina in a small but growing challenge to use the Chinese currency against the hegemony of the US dollar. Okay, so it says Marcelo Montenegro, Minister of Economy of Bolivia, announced on Thursday that his country's financial operations relying on the Chinese yuan during the months of May to July this year amounted to 278 million yuan, which is 10% of the country's foreign trade during that period. We're already using the yuan. It's a reality and a good start, Montenegro said during a news conference. Banana, zinc, and wood manufacturing exporters are conducting transactions in yuan, as well as importers of vehicles and capital goods. These electronic transactions are carried out through the state-owned Banco Union. He added that although the amount of yuan used is still relatively small, it will increase over time. Yuan use is growing in the Latin American and Caribbean region, especially among countries seeking to build a stronger relationship with China, according to Margaret Myers, director of the Asia and Latin America program at the Inter-American Dialogue, a think tank based in Washington, D.C. And I'm not going to read too much of this, but we all know what this is, man. It says over here, let me see if there's anything interesting over here. Okay, so over here, earlier this year, Argentina's government unveiled a plan to use the yuan to pay for imports from China as a way to shore up its dwindling foreign exchange reserves, and even hinted that it might default on its debt to the International Monetary Fund using Chinese yuan. Okay, in Brazil, at the end of 2022, the yuan surpassed the euro as the second most important currency in foreign reserves. Exactly. Now, over here, you see Last month, Pakistan paid for its first shipment of crude oil from Russia in the Chinese yuan. Exactly. And that's the downfall of America. Brazil is also leading the call to move away from the dollar when Brazil's President Lula da Silva visited China earlier this year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The two nations have forged a recent part to replace the dollar with their own currency in their trade deals. Last year, Saudi Arabia and China announced that officials are in talks to price some of the nation's oil. Anyway, the BRICS nations comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are also poised to achieve a level of the self-sufficiency in international trade. Okay, so that's very interesting. Let's go to the scriptures, man. Let me see. What should I get, man? Actually, don't really know what I should get on this. Let me see. Yeah, let's start Isaiah, man. It's enough scriptures, you know. Nah. Let's just do something different. Okay, Daniel 2:40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all things shall it break in pieces and bruise. You see? So that's the fourth kingdom. That's talking about the Roman Empire. Now it had its deadly wound, and it came back as the, how did also Rama call it, man? The neo-colonial American empire, something like that. So it basically came back from after the Renaissance, and it was never destroyed. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see, so they're against each other. They can't come together. You understand? That's the last part. They started off strong together and everything, but actually they were never together because America was just bullying everyone around, and that's why they didn't make a move. But now that the financial system, they have a way to break that chain in that break a link in that chain of the strength of America, I would say. They're going for it, So now they're doing things like, not dealing in dollars anymore. That's a big move to make against America. And they can't really stop it because everyone is doing it together. Brazil, Russia is one of the ones to do it. India is one wants to do it. Pakistan now, Argentina, Bolivia. It's a domino effect, man. And they've all been colonized by America. They all have been done wrong by America. So that's just a way to get him back. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see, because they're going against each other. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. You see, so they can't come together. They, how they say that? A nation divided against itself shall not stand. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left. And in the days of these kings, you see, so close to that time, the Most High will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, which are heathens, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. You see, so that's the thing, man. Let's go to Job 20 and You see, so let's start at 5. Let me start at 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, he been in space and things like that. He has satellites. He has all this technology. He has the media to bombard everyone, with his image of beauty. Even our women be blonding their hair now. They wanna be you know they have red cheeks. They bombard people, the whole nation, the whole world with this thing. Even men are blonding their hair now, man. That's how bad he programmed everyone. Meanwhile, that's an unclean thing. According to the ancient world, that shows you that you're accursed. But he has the media in his hand, and he makes something that's actually a curse to be seen as beautiful, because he programs you with his witchcraft, man, with his media, with his television, with his radio, things like that. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, he thinks he's better than everyone. Yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. You see? So that's basically the downfall of America. That's what's gonna come. He's gonna slowly but surely lose his power, and this is one of the ways he's gonna lose his power, through the monetary system. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou also become like unto us? And that's basically these nations that saying they also have the nuclear weapon. They can also basically fight against America now. They don't have the upper hand no more. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So slowly but surely it's gonna be crumbling. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So in the beginning of 50s, 60s, 70s, he was toppling nations like it was nothing, man. He went to Grenada, he bombed Grenada, he bombed children, he bombed babies, he bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, He tried to fight the Vietnamese, but that didn't really work, He went to Africa, nation after nation, he was toppling them, together with France, They were toppling nations. Patrice Lumumba, they kidnapped him, killed him, They did all these things, So in the Asian countries as well, which did weaken the nations. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Exactly. In the kingdom, we're going to be like, hey, Esau, did he really do all this? Because, of course, there's going to new people being born not knowing about Esau, but we're going to, we're going to be the ones that experienced it, and we're going to talk about it, Like, yeah, eventually there was a nuclear fallout, and he was no more, man. But before that nuclear fallout, of course, you had our woman saying that we ain't shit, wanting to being on their best behavior with Esau, but hating us, you understand? You had this woke thing, LGBT, sodomites everywhere, but in our country, in our nation, in our kingdom, it's going to be worse than Saudi Arabia, man. It's not going to be Sharia law. It's going to be Israelite law, man. Biblical law, So, Moses' law is going to be brought back, you understand, upon the whole earth, So with that, I want to say all praise and glory go to the Most High, Al Basham Yashai, and Shalom.